everybody? Now let's get into this week's Young and Pregnant. So it starts off with Rachel talking about how she wants Drew to have a relationship with Hazley. As we all know, Drew is in jail. So she calls him or he calls her, don't really know, from jail, and he's saying, yeah, I don't talk to anybody except, my mama and you. Nobody else will even answer the phone for me, which is a really sad situation. He's saying that he's in jail, and when he gets out, he's going to rehab because he was pretty messed up on meth and heroin when he was out. And it's a really sad situation because he says that he has nobody, and he wished he was out because Hazley's birthday is coming up and he really wants to be there. Now, I don't know if this is genuine, but I do know when you hit rock bottom like this, you do need people in your corner. And he says nobody will answer the phone except his mom. So I'm glad that Rachel is, being the bigger person in this situation and allowing Hazley to know that she does have a father. His name is Drew. He's locked up right now, and when he gets out and he's out of rehab, that he can come over and see the child whenever. So we'll see how this goes. So heading over to Kayla J, she informs everybody that Mikhail got in a car wreck and he's pretty banged up and he lost his car. So everything came to a standstill with the co-parenting situation, and she does not care, you know what I'm saying? She called her mom on the phone and she's like, yeah, Mikhail got in a wreck, so he cannot come to Maryland and see his daughter. But however, Mecca is not going to Philly up under no circumstances. And her mom is trying to talk some reason into her, saying, that's still her dad. Maybe, he can come get her for a weekend or to Philly, or maybe you can take her. And Kayla's like, no, he ain't going to Philly. He better work something out. He the one that chose to move there with his new girlfriend. There's no way I'm letting my daughter go to Philly, so I guess he just won't see her. Then it switches over to Mikhail, who's looking pretty banged up, and he's talking to his friend about his car accident. And then he says that he has not seen Mecca in about 30 days, and, that Kayla is not budging on this situation about her daughter not going to Philly, and he just feels, defeated. He doesn't know what to do. And the friend is saying, you got to stand up to her. Like, that is your daughter. You deserve to see her. You cannot let her call all the shots. And Mikhail is just pretty much in a hard place right now. Like, he lost his car. He got in a car wreck. He's living with his girlfriend. He really doesn't have anything of his own. And he says that he hasn't seen his daughter in about 30 plus days, and she's not going to know who he is. And it's just a really sad situation because I feel where Kayla's coming from. Like, you're not about to take my daughter to your new girlfriend's house. But I feel where Mikhail is coming from too, because he's been without his daughter for like a month plus. It's just a bad situation, so we'll see how it goes. So heading over to Kayla, she explains that she was at Luke's family's house for Thanksgiving, and they were playing a card game, and that every time a card came up where it was like, describe the hoe in the family, describe the cheater in the family members would hand the card over to Luke, and it became this running joke of he's a hoe and he's a cheater, and it pissed Kayla off, okay? So Kayla left, and she went to go hang out with Ryan, of all people. Ryan from a couple episodes ago, who thought that he could be Isaiah's biological dad. So because of that, they're sitting down to do this counselor Zoom meeting. And Luke is like, I don't know why the hell you would go hang out with him just to get back at me. Like, I don't like Ryan. You know that he's trying to interject himself into this family. Like, what the hell are you thinking? Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if this is for a storyline or not, because Luke seems very calm for somebody who just went to hang out with their high school boo that they used to have sex with back in the day, just because you got mad that my family was calling me a hoe at a card game. Now, Luke did cheat in the past. He admitted it, and he said that, but life has been good since then, which has been like a year and a half ago. He says, life has been good since then. I haven't done anything, and I thought we were trying to move forward, so why the hell would you go hang out with Ryan? The producer asked her, did she actually hook up with Ryan? And she said that she was not going to answer that. Now, this is just crazy to me because I feel like I don't want to teeter that line, but honestly, when you have a close-knit family like Luke seems to have, when they get together and things like this happen, it's all fun and games. It could be from way, way back in the day where Luke used to be a hoe in high school. Who knows? But Kayla got very sensitive about the topic because he has cheated on her. Now that I'm looking at it, it seems like he cheated on her throughout her pregnancy. So we'll just have to keep with the season and see what happens. So moving over to Kaya, she's, reflecting on this past vacation that her and Tezia argued so bad at, the vacation that MTV paid for. So she's reflecting on the couch with her mom, and her mom is saying, I think that you and Tezia need to go to counseling because When you guys have issues, you want to talk about it now. You blow up, and Tezia shuts all the way down, so you guys are not hearing each other. But Kaya seems uninterested. She really seems drained and over it while she's on this couch. And she's saying that, she's not even in a relationship with the girl, so she does not feel like she needs to go to counseling. She's just not going to do it. And her mom is like, well, you guys got me in counseling because you guys argue so much. And if I'm in counseling, I know y'all need to be in counseling. And honestly, this is some sound advice. Her mom also said, that you got to pick and choose your battles when you're in a relationship. You can't just argue about this old shit all the time or you're going to always have issues. Some very sound advice that I hope that Kaya takes. Moving over to Brianna, she says that she's very insecure about the role that she plays in her new boyfriend Briggs' life. Apparently, he's like a TikTok star or a famous Instagrammer. I don't know. Apparently, he did all this shit for clout. Like, ooh, who would have knew? But anyway, she says that she's very insecure about the fact that he has all these females all the time commenting up under his posts, calling him sexy and saying they want to do stuff with him. They want to meet him offline and take him out and stuff like that. So one night she saw a missed call from one of the girls who commented on his post, and they got into an argument, and he told her, there was nothing to it. He's never met up with any of these chicks. He'll never meet up with any of these chicks, and he's in it for her. And she decided to forgive him because he's just so darn cute. So she's talking with her sister about this, and she says, when I first got with Briggs, I told him I was looking for a husband, or, we could do our own thing and casually date, no in between. And he told me, that he was in this. So I put my heart into it, and now, I'm getting cheated on. And it's just like, her sister's like, okay, so why are you still talking to him? If those were your guidelines, why are you still talking to him? And it's just weird that when you get into a relationship at 21 years old, you tell the dude, hey, if you ain't gonna be my husband, bounce. Like, I understand, but it's like you met this dude on the internet with 1,000 commenters and you thought that he was gonna change for you just because you're on a TV show or something? I don't know where Brianna's head is. So heading back over to Rachel, she explains that she knows that she should not have new dudes around Hazley all of the time. However, Hazley is already obsessed with Noah. Honestly, Hazley probably shouldn't have met Noah this soon because it's just some dude in the neighborhood that's not going to be around next week. But whatever, that's your child. Do whatever you want to do. So she says that Hazley is obsessed with Noah in that, Noah does not have a dad. Noah did not know Drew. Drew didn't come around like that. So Hazley is already obsessed with Noah and calling him dad and wanting to run up to him every time that she sees him, that, when she's about to go to sleep at night, she's crying out for him and she's obsessed with him. And he's like, yeah, I never been around a little kid, but, this is kind of cool. And, Noah's cute or whatever. It's just kind of weird how she's saying her daughter is now so obsessed with this man. It's been like a week. Okay, Rachel. So heading back over to Kayla. Her and Luke sit down with this therapist on Zoom, and the therapist asks them, so what issues are really bothering you right now? And Kayla says, I feel like when he cheated on me when I was pregnant, I know that was a long time ago, but it keeps getting brought back up because it has not been resolved, which is an issue that a lot of couples have. And they start getting emotional because Luke says, yes, I cheated, but I don't know why. She keeps asking me why. She wants me to explain it. I don't know. He says that he has never really been the one to open up, but he feels like he's been doing better since then. He has not cheated and he's done things, to prove that he can be trusted, whatever those things are. And Kayla's just like, I don't know if I can get over it right now. And the therapist is like, you guys really love each other. I can tell by how everybody in the room is crying right now. And that you guys have the tools to make it work. You just have to be able to put in the work. I honestly hope that they can work it out, but I feel like Luke saying that he doesn't know why he cheated is just something he did. It's just him not wanting to take accountability for the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, tell the truth about what happened that night. That's what Kayla want to know. She want to know the tea. So heading back over to Brianna, it is about to be her 21st birthday. Can you believe it? So she says that, due to COVID, all the restaurants and bars are still shut down. So they are trying to find something to do. If they are going to have a dinner at home or they're going to take a trip, they don't know yet. But they come to the conclusion that they're going to take a trip, probably another trip that MTV is going to pay for. So she's sitting down with her mom and her sister, deciding who to invite and who not to invite. And she says, that she does not want to invite Briggs because she just wants to be around people that she loves. And, she doesn't want to argue. She doesn't want drama and blase, blase. They then bring up Ashley, and she says that her and Ashley are not talking at the moment, so she doesn't want her to necessarily come either. She just don't want no damn drama at her birthday. So then it switches over to her sister that is now hanging out with Ashley, which is news to me because, a couple episodes back, the sister acted like, she really didn't know Ashley that well and that she didn't understand what the infatuation was. But now she's hanging out with Ashley and she's like, just because you and Brianna aren't talking right now doesn't mean that me and you can't be friends. And, I sat down with her and she said, she doesn't want you at the party because it's going to be drama. But, she's the one that brings all the drama, not you, Ashley. So she's pretty much kissing Ashley's ass in this one scene. So she's saying, even though Brianna doesn't want you at the party, you can come as my +1. And if Brianna doesn't want to talk to you, you can talk to me or my boyfriend or my mom, and the baby's going to be there too. So you don't necessarily have to talk to Brianna if you come. So the sister... Brianna's sister goes behind her back, hangs out with Ashley, even though her and Ashley aren't seeing eye to eye now. What is it with this Ashley girl that everybody loves? So she hangs out with Ashley, and she's telling her that even though Brianna does not want you at her party, I want you there. So I'm inviting you, and Brianna's just going to have to deal with it. It's very kind of backstabby a little bit. Your sister just said, I want peace at my party. Me and Ashley aren't talking right now. I don't want her to be there. But you go behind Brianna's back and invites her. So I would love to see how this plays out. So heading back over to Kayla J, she is still upset because Mikhail cannot come see his daughter now that he got in a wreck and he does not have a car. She's on the phone pressuring him saying, so when are you going to put in the work? When are you going to put in the initiative to come see your daughter? And he's like, I don't have a car. What do you want me to do? Walk? He then begs her, like, can you please bring me my daughter? Because, I don't have a car. I can't get there. And it's an hour to an hour and a half away. And she's like, no, that's not happening. I made up my mind that, my daughter is not stepping foot back in Philly. And that's what I mean. So they start arguing about that. And she's like, you know what? Just F it. You were there for my daughter her first 2 years of life. Now you're not, bitch. She calls him a bitch and she hangs up. It's just like... he doesn't have a car, so I don't know what she wants him to do. It's not like he can call somebody and say, hey, take me 2 hours or an hour and a half away to see my daughter on every weekend. I don't think he has a support system like that. He only has his girlfriend. So moving on to Kayla. She meets up with one of her friends, the friend that we always see on this series. They come over. The funniest part about this whole scene is that her daughter kept calling her a bitch. Like, she was like, bitch, stop. You bitches. And it was just funny to me. I don't know. I'll post it later on Instagram. But anyway, she starts talking about how her and Luke had their first counseling session. And she feels like it was a success because Luke started to open up more. He cried or whatever about how he feels. So she also says that Luke's sister Chaz and mom Noopy want to meet up with Kayla because apparently... Big Luke told them that Kayla met up with Ryan on Thanksgiving after she left the house mad. So now they want to sit down and have a conversation with her and find out what all of that was about. And she's saying, will you go with me? Because, it's just them two. And, just in case something happened or something pop off. She basically want to have some backup with this family. So, I don't think that they're going to hit her or whatever. But Kayla's just, she wants to be trained to go, I guess. She's hoping that Luke's sister Chaz is not mad at her because that's her confidant. That's who she goes to whenever Luke does something to her. And she says, that she was only riding around with Ryan in the car for like 15 minutes. They didn't do anything. So she does not feel that she has to explain herself to them. So she seems a little aggravated and irritated. So this might not go as she wants it to. A lot of people on my Instagram are starting to feel like this whole storyline is staged and fake. Let's just see what happened. Heading back over to Kaya and Tezia, they are still talking about this argument from the vacation rental, and I am honestly tired of hearing about it. So they're saying that they need to have better coping mechanisms. They need to analyze the situation, step back, and then come back to the argument because they say when they take a break from each other and then talk about it later, that they realize that it's not even that deep. And I'm just like, okay, well, you're just not realizing that. When you talk about something in the heat of the moment, of course it's going to blow up and be bigger than what it is in any argument, in any case. Tezia explains that she's working on herself and she's trying to work on hearing Kaya and not shutting all the way down. And Kaya says that she's working on her temper. So I hope these two can get it together because I'm tired of hearing about this same argument from the vacation rental and them pretending that they are not really together. So moving over to Kayla J, she's having a dinner with her entire family. Very dramatic. I guess the entire family wanted to be on TV. I don't know. She's at least an hour late, but according to people who work behind the scenes of Teen Mom, they have to have a police escort and all this other stuff and the cameraman and blah, blah, blah. So, quite naturally, she is late. So, she shows up to this dinner with her daughter. Like I said, very dramatic. So, somebody asked her about Mikkel. I think it was her aunt or her mom asked her about Mikkel. I think it was her mom asked her about Mikkel, and she says that her and Mikkel are still beefing, still arguing every chance they get. However, the other day, Mecca called Mikkel on FaceTime and they talked for at least 40 minutes. And Mecca was performing for him and showing him her new toys, and it was very cute. And she can tell that Mecca misses her dad. So then she asked her brother, who is sitting across the table from her, how does he feel about the fact that she won't let Mecca go to Philly, and the only way that Mikkel is even going to see his daughter is if he comes to Maryland. And her brother is straight up and real with her and says that he feels like it's a bit controlling, because why does he have to see his daughter on your terms? And quite naturally, Kayla is pissed off. She's like, what? How do you guys feel like that's controlling? Like, she's like, I told you. The mom is like, I told you that was not the best idea and situation for your daughter. And everybody is pretty much on Mikkel's side. So swinging back over to Rachel, it is Hazley's birthday and they are celebrating that. And in the middle of her birthday party, Drew calls and wants to talk to his daughter and wish her happy birthday, I'm assuming. So they chit chat for a little while. Then Rachel's mom gets on the phone and asks him when he's getting out. And he says he's actually getting out in 4 days. And then he's going to rehab. But before he goes to rehab, Big Steph says, well, can you just swing by and see Hazley? You know, she is turning 2 today. So maybe he'll come by the house, maybe he won't. But then when Big Steph says, come say hey to your daddy, Rachel interjects and says, don't call him that. But it's funny because in the last scene, Rachel was saying, you know, here, come talk to your daddy. Now she's saying, you know, don't call him that. After the party, she gets in the car with her mom and she's like, you know, I'm a parent how I want to parent, you know. Hazley doesn't know him. Don't call him dad. She's obsessed with Noah and she calls Noah dad. Not that I told her to, but she sees us cuddling in the bed, so she wants to call him dad. It's a really weird situation how Rachel is trying to play this off. It's kind of weird. And why is your daughter watching you cuddle? Leave it to Rachel, huh? So the last 3 minutes are of Brianna and Kayla, and it's really nothing. Literally, this episode dragged on like every other episode. So first of all, Brianna is in the bathroom talking with her sister. Her sister informs her that she actually invited Ashley to the birthday party. And they say, oh, wow, I hope our relationship works out, blase, blase. The same thing that they've been talking about all episode long. And then it ends with Kayla, who is pulling up to the house to meet with Big Luke's mom and sister. Now, before that, you know, it was kind of interesting. Big Mom's sister, Chaz, and his mom, Anoopy, were talking about how the holidays are important to him and that, you know, everybody is on Kayla's ass right now because she left that Thanksgiving dinner to go spend time with Ryan. And they're just like, and then why it had to be him? Why it had to be him? The same thing I was asking. Why would it have to be somebody that you used to mess around with? So they are visibly a little upset at Kayla and they want to get to the bottom of that. And Chaz is pretty much upset, saying that her brother is loyal and her brother would never do nothing like that. So she's pretty much ready to get into Kayla's ass. So Kayla's pulling up and she's on the defense, acting like she's ready to fight. I don't know, but it's giving storyline. It's just giving a storyline. So I honestly felt like this scene didn't even need for me to review it in its entirety. Like, it's just giving fake ass storyline. So we'll see next week, child. Looks like they're going to get in a fight.